what has made Lifehouse successful and maybe is a little bit unique I call it Lifehouse because for me, dance is just a vehicle that we get to learn positive values and how to be a good and healthy human being. And so I think the values, helping the students integrate those values into their day-to-day lives through learning the art form of dance is definitely my first priority, and what keeps me going is just seeing students grow and become these amazing human beings, as well as really gifted dancers in their time at the studio. So our values, like just to share a few of them, one of them is, if it doesn't challenge me, it doesn't change me. So we'd like to just normalize the discomfort that comes whenever we're expanding our capacities and growing in any way, and becoming an excellent dancer is really hard. But I think not only pushing yourself as a dancer, but dealing with the emotional effects of your ego, the way that you value yourself as a human being, and how you create true confidence, it's all a part of that. Because to me, it really comes from pushing past your limitations as a person and as a dancer, and learning that you can do hard things, and how expansive that is where true joy comes from. Another one of our values is, I will not compare myself to others. I will focus on my own potential. So I love dance. I think it's one of the things I love about it, and it's so vulnerable, is your body is your instrument. And everyone's instrument is so incredibly unique and different. And some people have what I like to call like a lot of deviations. That means there's kind of a certain standard that you are structurally looking for in your bone structure, your muscular structure, to be an advanced dancer. And everybody's born with some deviations, and some are born with a lot of things they have to overcome to learn to dance, and some with a few. And to me, the most beautiful thing is whatever instrument that you have been born with, learning to love it and honor it, and to help it reach its potential. And I have seen students who I think a lot of people would maybe write off, because they didn't have as much natural ability, who just worked and worked and worked. And if you have good training and good teachers, who have just become beautiful dancers and have wonderful careers. And so that's something we really try and instill. And then because of that value, we have just chosen not to do competitions as a studio. And I made that decision early on. And instead, because I think it's hard, I see that there can be good, but I think if you're going to teach that value, that we are focused on our potential. We're not worried about the comparison. And sometimes I look at dancers and I say, how can I even say who is number one, number two, number three? Because it's just a beautiful art form. It's a way of expressing yourself, and everyone is so unique. We're all just striving to align ourselves and our technique and our bodies with truth, with good alignment, with good form, and then allowing yourselves to tell stories and express through movement. And that, for me, is just something I can't judge and say, this is better, this is best. It's just such an individual journey. And so instead of doing competitions, we do really beautiful productions. So the studio, between the two locations, I don't know, we do like 9 productions a year. So we do a lot. So the kids have a lot of opportunities to perform in these very professional shows, and have that experience, because it is a performing art of sharing your talents, but in a way where I feel like everybody grows, everybody is celebrated, and that's something that I feel like is unique about life.